my wildest dream was to make it to the NBA, to be an NBA champion. So bodybuilding is an illusion game. Sometimes someone who looks bigger than you, ikifika time ya kupose, you've outposed him because you have more illusions. Shafi was posing and you could feel him pose. Not mwangali, you could feel him.
You feel him front.
You know when you're doing a lat spread,
yes,
the crowd lets you know. I think I'm gonna get in trouble again for saying this, but happiness is not for men. Happiness, leave that for women. But happiness, ours is fulfillment.
Okay.
Am I respected? Am I making a dent in the universe?
Hey Guya, how are you?
Vipi bwana?
Poa sana. Kwaje?
Ameko salama.
So welcome to the episode.
Finally.
Yeah.
Finally.
So, if someone asks you who is Guya, someone may don't know about you and they never hear anything about you. Who is Guya?
Guya is just someone who's passionate about bodybuilding. I do my best to, it's a passion. It's something that that we can't live without. Just before we started talking, started this interview, we were speaking about how do people survive without
working out.
So Guya is just a guy who's passionate about bodybuilding, just your average guy who likes to train, likes to enjoy life a little bit here and there, likes to self-improve, and I try to stay as humble as possible.
You're very humble. Like, for the one people may meet, you're very humble. Like, someone can never know what to shinda nini classic. Uko very cool, una kele mingi. Uko very quiet.
Well, in this life, you have to be grateful. You know, God can take anything away from you at any minute.
True.
And whatever He gives to you, you have to be very grateful for it.
Okay. So we're going to talk about your journey to fitness and how, first of all, let's talk about your background and how was it?
My background in
childhood,
my childhood.
Yes.
Kapalinili, where I grew up and all that.
Yes.
So I'm a Nairobi native. Nzaliwa Kisumu. So then 3 months, of course you can only go with what your parents tell you.
True.
But 3 months into my life, I was moved to Nairobi. I grew up here, went to school, nilianza baby class hapo mama nursery sijui kwa shule gani sio jina. But yeah, I grew up in just a normal childhood, nothing too crazy. I was a good guy in school. Miss sikuwa na cause trouble sana. So I was a good boy. Goody tushu. Got in trouble a bit here and there, lakini si sana.
Yes.
I tried to do well in my school. Nilikuwa na shida na buda alikuwa ananipatia pressure. Labda masomo ilinisumbua kidogo, lakini I finally made my way to be able to do well in my 844s. Then eventually I changed systems from 844 to now international GCSE. From there, but all in this, I was keeping in shape. As a child, I liked playing sports. I loved basketball. I was very, very passionate about basketball at that time.
Wow. Okay.
Played basketball in high school. Played basketball all the way to even university. I went to university.
Where?
In England.
Oh, in England.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So I got. I was fortunate enough to go to do university in the UK.
Okay.
So at that point, I managed to play Division 1 basketball in England. And when that was all over, my next passion now was bodybuilding. So nilirudi, I started doing the whole fitness thing. I think kabla inge bodybuilding naanza fanya hizi ma CrossFit,
yes.
What's this thing? Calisthenics.
Yes, okay.
Then eventually, sometime around 2017, I started focusing solely on bodybuilding. So from there, I took it one step at a time, and here we are.
Okay, we get there. So I want to ask you about when you say your childhood, you were nafanya basket a lot. And what was your dream that time?
My dream.
Yes.
So my wildest dream was to make it to the NBA, to be an NBA an NBA champion. But one dream I really wanted was to play NCAA basketball. I really wanted that. I never got to play that, but we got to play that in England. So that was still good. But I was grateful. I still learned a lot. I still made progress in my life from being from playing basketball competitively.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your parents are going to support when you're
Of course, yeah, of course. I'm very grateful for that.
Wow, that's good. So you did for how long? Basket?
Lianza, when did I start? So I started playing basketball seriously at my first year in high school. No, second year in high school, like seriously. I joined the club. Your club would go on every Saturday, labda sometimes after school. I'll go to the club, maybe 2-3 times a week you're playing basketball. Then you go on my competitions on the weekends, tournaments, all that. That eventually got me even when I went to school. I was in the school basketball teams. I was able to be the best basketball player in the team.
Okay.
So eventually I was able to also now take my talents a bit away from the country and let you.
Ni kitu gani you inspire to do basket? What is first?
You know, I don't know. I don't know. You know, some things just choose you.
Okay.
Like you don't choose your passions choose you.
Choose you too.
So like bodybuilding, I feel like it chose me. So basketball at the time, like my favorite athlete of all time is Kobe Bryant, right?
Okay.
I grew up watching Kobe Bryant. Yani, it's I was having an argument with someone that day saying he doesn't like he's a Kobe hater. So he says Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan are not. It's not a religion. It's the next thing close to a religion. So after Jesus, people want to be like Kobe or want to be like Mike. In fact, in the 90s, there was a phrase saying like Michael Jordan.
Okay.
So Kobe Bryant really inspired me, and I don't know. I wanted to be somewhat like him, somewhat play the game like him, somewhat approach life and approach situations like him. Yeah.
So we put side basket that time. Ulikuwa unasomea nini shule specific? What was there?
In uni, I'm happy.
Shule, university.
University.
Yes.
So a thing people don't know about me I studied civil engineering.
Wow.
Yeah. That's what I work when I'm not doing my bodybuilding things. I'm out being a civil engineer or doing things in construction. So personally, I work a lot with materials and I work a lot with concrete.
Okay.
So so when I was not playing basketball, I was studying civil engineering.
Which year?
Sorry?
Which year?
Which year? That was from 2010 to 2014.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was your first job? After shamaliza shule, just get out.
Just working in civil engineering, working construction too.
Construction.
Just working in construction.
No, but
fortunately for me, we have ties. My whole family, all of us are engineers.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, not all of us, but most of us are engineers. So bro, so tunasaidiana tu.
Oh, it's easy for kutoka shule na mtu alikuwa na guide. Yeah, you go in this direction.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good. So let's talk about your gent bodybuilding and what inspired you to gent bodybuilding after Shama is a basket katoka.
There's other than saying bodybuilding chose me, there's a thing about self-improvement that I know a strong body builds a strong mind. You know, one of the podcasts I mentioned, muscles, money, game frame. If you want to self-improve as a man, and the lowest hanging fruit is muscles. So that one you can attain down very quickly. So if you want to self-improve yourself, you want to start with your body. If you can build your body, you can build your mind. If you build your mind, you can build. Then it just goes on from there. If you build your mind, you can build your wealth. If you build your wealth, you can build your frame. So if you start with the lowest hanging fruit, building your body, muscles, as a young guy, you're in your 20s, Evie, you just get into building your body. So you try and lift as heavy as you can. You try and you see your fitness levels. You see your fitness limits and how much you can grow. Eventually, from that, someone will say something nice about your physique. Be like, hey, Jama, I see you have a good physique there. Unafo competition hivi.
So,
Mr. Kenya is coming around the corner here. I mean, you know what? Let's see what this Mr. Kenya is about. So, in fact, actually before that, 2016, 2017, me and my buddies, we just used to train. We just liked the idea of training and lifting weights and being strong. We weren't even thinking about competitions. We weren't even thinking about doing any bodybuilding. We're just thinking about lifting this weight. Okay. What's your deadlift? What's your max? Magazines. Max, okay. Or you look at social media, you're seeing Phillip that time was coming up. Phillip was going. Phillip was just he was winning almost everything. So that time you're not even thinking you want to be like Phillip. You're just thinking you like the idea of the culture. You're around people who love to train. You're around people who love to build themselves, to build muscles. So somewhere along the way, you get a compliment from one guy or two guys or three guys, and then they recommend you doing a competition. Okay. Then eventually along the way, you say, why not? Because as a man, you want to challenge yourself into something new every time.
Yes.
So that was a new thing for me. 2017 into 2018, now I started working. 2018, I decided, Sanfanye Mr. Kenya. And let's on the stage and Shafi alituosha. Cleaned us out.
Kidogo, before tufika hapo hivyo. When you say you start training probably 2017. Yeah. Vizuri.
Yeah.
Training proper like you want to.
Yeah, so specifically bodybuilding started training in 2017.
2017.
Yeah.
Siku gani uliingia gym?
Sikumbuki, I've always been training. Even when I was in college, I was training. When you're playing basketball, you're put in the gym as well.
Okay, you do basket. And
even high school. High school, vile nilikuwa nacheza basketball, nilikuwa naenda gym.
Oh, so this 2017, did you know anything about posing, about prepping, all this? And how did you learn? How did I learn?
Fortunately, in 2017, I didn't know about posing. 2018 is when I started learning about posing. I remember I saw a video. Now, there's two types of posing. There's mandatory poses. Fortunately, I got, there's a guy called Big Vic inside Yakidogo. He helped me learn my poses, my mandatory poses. And remember, there are a few videos I stole from bodybuilding.com as well. Research too, just doing research. And I got to learn my mandatory poses, how to pose and everything. Then the aesthetic poses, like kufanya routines. Remember, there's a video by Terence Ruffin. I don't know if you know Ruff Diesel. He first came out that time, and he was he had a video that went viral. And if there's one thing that inspired me, it was that video. Be like, this video bodybuilding can actually be something artistic. So I started learning. I saw his routine. He posed to a song, a remix for Survivor. I'm Not Survivor. Okay. Yeah. Yes, okay. So he danced to that remix. It was a very good, Ruff Diesel did a posing routine to Survivor. Yeah. It was a remix. It was a remix song by a remix of Survivor. And that's when I saw that someone can actually make this bodybuilding thing very entertaining, where people can fixate their eyes on you and want to. It's like you're watching a play. It's like you're watching a ballet dancer. It's like you're watching watching art. When you watch art, you get inspired. It's very emotional when you watch it. So that's when I saw this thing can actually be more than just bodybuilding. It can be art. And that's when I started becoming even more passionate about the art of posing.
Okay.
Yeah. So from there, that's when I learned. So I tried doing something like that in my 2018 Mr. Kenya posing. It's a bit right now. If you go search it, I wouldn't. I've grown. It's a bit. I don't want to say it's embarrassing, but it's a bit. We all start from somewhere.
We start from somewhere.
Yeah.
So yes.
Yeah. So that's how it went, and then just learned my posing from there, and just became more passionate about posing, learn. Even till today, I learn more things to add into my arsenal of posing every now and then.
This 2018, this was your first show. And we'll play number gani?
In place.
Yeah, in place.
Fortunately, there are not many people doing heavyweight. I remember I checked in at 93 kg, heavyweight 90 kg up. So I managed to get third. Oh. Sorry, second place.
Second
place in the heavyweight. But I trained hard, I took it seriously. Even though it was my first show, I gave it like I was doing it professionally. So I really watched my diet. I really watched my calories. I really did the best I could do. I did not play around. And I think that's one thing people don't take in their prep seriously. Like prep has to be a struggle. And that's when I really, that was one of the first times I actually understood bodybuilders are some of the toughest people in the world, because to go through day by day feeling like that and feeling completely energy depleted, it was a first experience for me. But when you step on stage and you're able to display your physique, a sense of satisfaction is brought there. So yeah.
I'm not going to stop this. I have to do this and complete. And I'm going to achieve it.
So I remember that year, I was going through a hard time. 2018. I was going through a hard time. It really failed, right? Yeah. I was going through a lot of stuff, personal stuff. And then just to top it off, I got in trouble now, a podcast saying, I don't think men need therapy. We need more hardships and we need more pain. Of course, we need therapy and everything. But that year, went through hard stuff. I decided, let me give myself another hard thing to do. And let me do the bodybuilding competition. After I signed up for the bodybuilding competition, there's a thing in me till today where if you're stepping on stage, sitaki kujaibisha. So there's that fear of embarrassing yourself. Yes. When you step on stage, so you're like, after work. Yes. Like, I'll be exposed here. This guy will expose me after work. So some people call it is a confidence thing, but me, I call it, Phil Heath has the same thing. He has the thing, but I really have to make sure I don't embarrass myself, right? So that's what really drove me into doing that prep as hard as I could. Yeah.
Were you gonna coach?
No.
Just you?
Just me.
You don't have coach?
Didn't have a coach.
And this time, you're gonna find a job?
Gonna find a job, yeah, of course.
You're gonna find a job?
In fact, I'm gonna find a job. The same time, gonna fanya hii biashara. Hello.
Biashara imeanguka.
Ilianguka. So it was a good year. It was a good year.
Mlikuwa ngapi kwa stage? Kategori yako?
Nakumbuka, I think on the day we came in like about 12 at prejudging, 12 maybe max 15. Then they called 6 finalists.
Okay.
No, actually, no. That's a lie. Tulikuwa chache. I think tuliingia kaa 10 hivi. They call about 6 finalists.
Oh, 6 finalists. For meaning waina wakatolewa.
Kawaina wanatolewa. But don't quote me on that. I don't remember. Just kuza show me sikumkangi kitu.
Oh, just okay. Anyway. So that's 2018. And then 2019?
2019, I didn't compete. I remember Mr. Kenya was happening. Then human in Nukumana wana revive KBBF right now.
Okay.
But hapo ndo pale KBBF ilianguka. So 2019 didn't happen. There were a lot of KBBF issues. Then I think Iron Fit happened, but then Milchaji achilia. So 2 months later, Iron Fit has come about. I'm like,
I can't 2 months later.
So 2020, of course, that happened. But 2020, I didn't prepare myself well. COVID was very hard to get around. 2021, 001 happened. We competed in that. It went well. This time I came close to me and Shafi we competed well.
Yeah, I see that.
Then 2022, I don't know. I didn't compete. 2023.
Sorry, before to 2022, tuko ya 001, mkuwa na Shafi. Ulikuwa place number?
Second place again.
Second place again. Ni kitu gani uli improve this time?
Everything. On me in everything.
The second
my
show.
posing, my everything.
Right now, so
I had a coach that time.
Coach.
Everything.
Okay, ni kitu gani? What is one thing you learn about your coach that time? Uko unafanya before?
Why a coach helps is that ukijiangalia kwa kioo, there's some things that he sees that you won't be able to see. Another set of eyes is very important for him to make his analysis on it. Sometimes you can think you're there, like, but you have to, using another different set of eyes, it tells you, no, we're not there yet. We have to work on our delts. We have to work on our hamstring a bit more. We have to work on especially when you're working on back. No one knows how their back looks like. So he gets to see how your back looks like, unless you do videos for yourself but he'll get to see how your back looks like. So he just improved me on now how to train like a bodybuilder, how to prepare yourself like a bodybuilder, right? How to approach the game, how to approach training. I give you an example. When we go train legs, on a leg day.
Yes.
On leg day, someone will decide, okay, they want to tap a quad, tap a hamstring. So they'll just do the whole thing, everything. So what he made me do is that for 2 months, we'll focus on our sweep alone. So when you do quads, we'll only focus on sweep peke yake.
Okay.
Then the next 2 months, teardrop.
Take me like a child,
so ka ukitrain, anakuambia leo ni teardrop peke yake. We're not ataguza maybe teardrop, calf na hamstring. Leo.
Okay.
So he'll make me train my teardrop. And I'll put a lot of pump into it. So of course you'll still get the whole quad, but your focus will be trying to target the teardrop more.
Okay.
So then so that's what I learned. So maybe when you're doing rear delt, I took fanya arms. When you're doing shoulders, sometimes we'll do rear delt, then do a bit of side and front, like it will be now rear delt dominant on the training. So that's how I learned how to approach the game. Mama, when you're training chest, you'll be upper chest dominant that day. So you train more of the upper chest more than maybe lower chest tuna. Maybe one exercise. And maybe 4 of the exercises will be not targeted toward the upper chest.
So you focus more upper chest, then you do like 2 exercises on one.
So that's how I learned how to approach the game. That was the thing. That was the main thing that year. How to approach it. So when you train that way, you can create more illusions. So bodybuilding is an illusion game. Sometimes someone who looks bigger than you, ikifika time ya kupose, you've outposed him because you have more illusions. Your sweeps look more curvy, you look more bubbly, but he's bigger. So I think on stage, I would say that year I could count. Well, maybe Gasha alikuwa hiyo class.
Ilikuwa the first show yake.
Ilikuwa first. No, ilikuwa second show.
Ilikuwa 2 Rivers.
Ilikuwa 2 Rivers. Bas, Gasha alikuwa hiyo show. I remember I could guarantee that half the stage was not natural.
What?
I could guarantee that half of that stage was not natural. You know, 001, it's an open. It's an open.
Yes.
And that time I was natural. Pure.
2020?
2021. Pure natural. Pure.
Okay.
So then, and I was able to play second, beating guys who were not natural.
What?
So I mean, I'm not saying that to pat myself on the back. I'm a cool.
True.
But it just showed me that the difference in how to approach the game, use illusions. So that's when I would. Najua mimi tena making a stage nachezanga game ya urembo. Sichezangi game ya size.
Just always looking at friends.
So if I play the size game, you're bigger than me. You'll outpose me.
Okay.
They're guys who have really good physiques. But now when it comes to posing, it's bodybuilding. We have to attract the judges' eyes.
You have to show your friends.
Exactly. You have to show. You have to look pretty.
True.
So 001 went well that year. Nakumbuka hata Shafi aliniambia, mpeleka pre-judging. So it was good. So it was a good show. And for me, Shafi, I really looked up to Shafi that time. Shafi was like even till today, Shafi is like an idol to me. Like he's the way he just carries himself as an individual. It's one of the best masculine figures you can have as a man, Shafi. So he really, to me, that was a big statement for me. And that was something that
will open up to you.
Yeah,
So, hey, this thing I can.
Yeah, because as much as I want to beat you and compete with you, I'll still have a high level of respect.
True.
For him. Yeah. So yeah, tulipelekana. So it was quite the show. I enjoyed myself, especially pre-judging. I remember the head judge was also quite impressed. I got to speak to him, and then he also got to share his photos with. There's this Mr. Olympia who won in the 80s, Samir.
He's from Coast.
Yeah. He's an Arab guy.
Arab guy.
I forget his name, but I got to speak to him. This coach is usually in the UK.
Okay.
The head judge in 001 that year, and I got to have a word with him and this Samir, just shortly. And I was taken aback that he liked the physique and everything. So 001 was a good year, and we got to display a good physique, and that's when I learned how to approach the game because I got a very good coach.
That's what hiyo ni show yako ya pili. The first show you place number 3.
Number 2. But Shafi won. Second show, number 2. Shafi won.
The first show mlikuwa na Shafi bado?
Shafi, hapo Shafi alituosha mbaya. Wow. Shafi was posing and you could feel him pose. Hata umwangali. You could feel him.
You're feeling front, but
when you're doing a lat spread,
yes,
the crowd lets you know. Shafi alikuwa anafanya kitu ya kufungua one lat at a time. It's like a guy cleaned us out. So it was a good. That's when I learned. He's quite the competitor. Yeah.
Okay. So show yako ya tatu.
Show yangu ya tatu, believe it or not, is now East Africa.
Serious? East Africa? Yeah. We've competed 3 shows.
3 shows.
The first one ukakuwa second, ya pili ukakuwa second, ya kwa. So this year ukakuwa number 1 classic.
But second again, I think there's a curse.
That's not a curse. Okay.
But I mean, it depends on who. Well, the judges, of course, it was a split decision, where I can understand that. In all fairness,
True.
So it's a split decision. The judges said my lines were too classic. Although I tried to pose like a bodybuilder there, but he just said, how will it look? So, of course,
in a classic, open.
So and also they have to keep it. It was a good show. Cobra is also a very good competitor.
Okay.
And Cobra has been working for that title. I think his first time he didn't get it, second time he didn't get it, and finally got it. I can say it's well deserved for him. Tagatulipelekana toe to toe. It was good. Okay.
What is the weakness in Koyako this year?
This year?
Yeah,
or that year?
Come to open, to say we'll come to
my open. Weakness? I'll say size. I think I need more size on my frame. I think just size.
So when it comes to this, the kwa show yako tatu, in the time unaweza kutumia steroid. This show, first show. What inspired you to come out to me?
Now, I don't recommend anyone going that side, of course. Okay, yes. And it's not something that me personally enjoy. So every time nikiongea na Gashao, the doses that me and him use are night and day. I use very minimal doses. I believe, my coach and I believe in the saying less is more. So what inspired me to go that side, of course, is to take it to the next level and to compete out there and to want to actually make a statement, make a dent in the universe. Unfortunately, you're going to have to do what the professionals do.
True.
Right? So I found a way to do it. I created a team around me who also watches my health.
Wow.
And from there, when I felt safe about it, I pulled the trigger.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any regret for using?
maybe it's not a regret, but if I did it again, I'll do things differently.
Okay.
Right? Because the regret, you can't have any regret because you wouldn't have known. That lesson learned is what you get from doing it.
Okay.
So if do I have regrets? No.
So let's talk about the side effect, because also there's a benefit,
Okay.
there's side effect. So tell me, what's the side effect since you started using?
Now it depends on the compound. Right away, the side effects that you can have from, I feel like Naskani interview Agashao. Agashao is better off speaking about these things, but number one, off the bat, the first side effect is okay. So they're different compounds.
Okay.
Every compound has they call it an androgenic effect that can lead to you not being normal. So number one side effect, it depends on the compound. Let's say you're using, I don't like to talk about these things, but let's say you're using Tren. One side effect can be anger. Some people get Gashal kwa anasema vile alitumia Tren, alikuwa anakosa na mama kila saa alimfukuza mara kadhaa.
Yes.
So that's one side effect. Number two, a side effect is now some people lose their hair. Some people have high estrogen in their body. Some people have erectile dysfunctions. So you have to find a way to manage that. But the good thing nowadays is about 90% of the side effects can be managed. So if you manage yourself well and you have a good doctor and you have a good team behind you, or at least you're very, very knowledgeable with these things and you do your blood work and then you can manage the side effects, which is why I don't recommend anyone to do it. Don't touch it unless you really want to go deep into that side of bodybuilding.
Bodybuilding.
Yeah.
So someone asks you, what is bodybuilding mean to you right now?
Right now, bodybuilding means I'm representing the people who are behind me. So this is not my physique that I've built. This is a physique that other people have built. Other people have helped me build. I'm just showcasing it for you guys. And going on forward, I want to be able to just, you know what, I want to be able to represent my people back here, Iron Nation, Kina 254. I want people to know that we have some good talent in Kenya, and we can push this. We can one day have an Olympian, not even just in classic physique, but in the open category. One day, it might not be me, but it can be someone. So we just need some way to have people look into Kenya more and give Kenya more eyes, just so that we can pave the road for the next generation.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is always one thing always make you put every morning keep going and you never decide to give up to do what you're doing?
The fear of regret. Once that's one. Providing for your people, that's true. But if I can speak on the first one, regret is something that and you just asked me a question like, do I ever regret anything? So you don't regret things that you do, you regret things that you don't do. So sometimes the thing, that feeling and you're sleepy, maybe you're really tired, but you really need to get up. But if you don't get up, you might sleep in a bit more, but kuna kitu inakuamshanga be like,
nikilala side hapa next day mbaya.
Yeah, and you regret it.
True.
Right, so that keeps you going. The fear of showing up on stage embarrassing yourself.
Yes.
So that's another thing that keeps me going. Also, I would like people around me to be comfortable and have a good life. So.
Okay. Yeah. What is the one thing you wish you knew earlier before you joined bodybuilding and could change?
They say if you knew how hard it was, you'd never start. So I'm glad I didn't know. I'm glad I didn't know how hard I had to push myself. Because there's some days you'll have to look for it within from somewhere. I just started this training for Sokville in Kutana coach maybe a month ago. He was not happy with my quads. He's not happy with my legs. At all.
What?
He said they're disgusting right now. So he put me doing 8 sets of 3 plates, 15 reps squatting.
8 sets?
8 sets. And then Alinirumia, we were meant to do 10. And you know, he's not around most of the time. Sometimes he has to travel a lot. So So those 8 sets, I think if I knew this is what bodybuilding is about, I'll never start. I'll not start.
It's more pain.
So it's just more and more pain. So I don't even want to know what the future holds for me. I want it to be a surprise that day.
What's going to happen?
Yeah, so that's one thing that I'm glad that I didn't know some of the things that I had to do, just so that I can be so I do them. Yeah.
Okay. Are you happy for bodybuilding? Are you happy?
I think I'm going to get in trouble again for saying this, but happiness is not for men. Happiness, leave that for women. But happiness, ours is fulfillment.
Okay.
Am I respected? Am I making a dent in the universe? I mean, that's what I think men should look at. I think happiness is a byproduct, right? Mm-hmm. It's not a goal. It's a byproduct of you doing things. You can only be happy if you go through. I mean, if you want maybe to sound philosophical, whatever you call them. But happiness is not a goal. It's a byproduct of you doing things of you chasing after something, of you
trying to achieve something.
Yes. So you have to go through a lot of pain, adversity.
True.
The happiest people in the world are the ones who have gone through the most pain. So I don't know if I'm happy. I don't know. I mean, I don't really care if this is fulfilling and if I'm doing my best to at least do God's will. Okay. I mean.
So let's talk about when you're prepping. How do you control your craving? Like you're prepping and focus on that.
One, through God's grace, because now I'm controlling your appetite when you're prepping. So the last weeks, okay, in more technical terms, before talking about the mindset and everything, one thing I'll do, I'll start eating late. So if I do my fasted cardio at 8 a.m., 7 a.m., I'll go, fortunately during this prep, I was able to work from home. So I think after COVID, people found ways of working from home. So fortunately for this prep, I was able to work from home on most days. So I used to start eating late. So I start eating at midday. Okay. So by the time you're done eating, it's 8 p.m. I saw this meme one time. Jamal Sema, it was a reel of someone who he was sad because it's prep. It's 4 p.m. and he's eaten all his meals. So now he has to stay hungry until the next day.
And this is the next day.
So the trick I use is I start eating late.
Okay.
I start eating late. As late, so I'll push that hunger as long as possible. The good thing is at that point, your insulin levels are good. Now, are you catabolic? Maybe a little bit, but you would manage that. Maybe you'd have a protein. Okay. Just to make sure you're not too catabolic.
Yeah. Stomach not empty.
Yeah. And then, but then my meals, I start having them at 12 at midday.
At midday.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you look at the bodybuilding being for, let's say for 3 games or games, what is the one thing you can think as your personal one is that tomorrow improve what's an organizing event?
Okay. The Mr. East Africa event was a very good show. Okay. That was a very good show. There's very little to criticize about it. I think we can only go with our last best show, which was that one. There's very little to criticize about that show. I think the criticisms are good problems to have. So one criticism is they needed bigger space, which is a good problem to have.
Problem.
I mean, it's a problem, but it's a good problem.
Okay.
So you need bigger space because you sold out on so many tickets.
Yes.
You sold so many tickets, you sold out. And then maybe the criticism I had is if they could run things faster, because me being an artistic guy, I had 2 posing routines ready for that show. But of course, you never get to showcase
classic them. Also, you need to open. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
So let's talk about the young athletes. They are watching you and they want to know about, I want to start training, and the best advice you can give this person to start training and they achieve their goal. And they look at you, Guya, one day I want to come out with Guya. Nini unaweza mwambia fanya?
One day you want to come on like Guya?
Yes.
How old is he?
20.
20?
Yes.
Okay, number one, 5 years. For the next 5 years, be extremely consistent in the gym. Life will happen. You might get off, you might come back, you might lose something, you might lose a loved one, you might change jobs, you might have to change locations, but give yourselves 5 years of really trying to train and be consistent. It's a game of consistency, right? I think as a young person, you're trying to be, there's this whole fuss about being a millionaire under 30 or 30 under 30 or, well, the joy is in sometimes when you achieve your goals too early, they don't mean something. I mean, sometimes when you achieve your goals late in life, that's when they mean something and it's more fulfilling. You have a story to tell, you've gone through more adversity. Like maybe if I can talk about my boy Richard Gitao, yeah. Like one thing I was discussing, like if he didn't get the unfortunately he didn't get the pro card, but that's just part of the story. That's just part of the story because I know one day he will, and when he does, and even when he wins Mr. Olympia, he'll have more of a story to tell.
Yes, true.
So I think as a young guy at 20 years old, you want to achieve things at 21. 21, you want to be rich. You want to have experience. You want to have all the girls. You want to have all the money. You want all the muscles, and it doesn't work that way. There's a man. Your 20s are time to experiment, and your 20s are time to adjust. If you can be as consistent as possible for 5 years, hell, 7 years, even 10 years, and just stick to the gym and grow your body as much as possible. Find your limits. Try. I made a video saying if you're anything under 25, you should try to be. If you're anything under 25, you should try to make sure that you know your PRs, your personal records. You know them. You know how much I can deadlift, how much I can bench, how much you can squat, and do that for 5 years consistently. By 25, you'll be at a good place, better than 99% of your peers. And from there, now you can now see what direction you want to go by.
Yes,
right? If you do that for 5 years, at least you'll know what to do.
What to do in your life when 25. Because right now you have experience, exactly. You have tried so many things. So we talk about that, and I want to ask you this about, you never think about trying powerlifting because you have nguvu kunayo
kweli ama?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, kuna nguvu, and you never try about coming powerlifting. Do you have that vision? Utakujua siku moja jaribu?
My powerlifting, mazee, the chances of injury are high. The chances of injury are high. So powerlifting, I respect powerlifters because they have to manage their bodies a bit differently. They're flexible. They have to manage their joints. They have to manage their CNSs. Like I was discussing with somebody, powerlifters, you'd be surprised. Most of them are not on gear. I don't think like they're not on gear.
Okay.
Someone can look at someone like Alvin Lee and you think he's on
gear.
He's not.
That guy is big.
That guy is big and he has power. And I respect the way he plays with his. I don't know. I think they play with their central nervous system, or they just manage their bodies very well. So I think what they powerlifting is a different. It's a different breed. It's a different game. Have I thought about it? Yes, maybe once or twice, but we combine bodybuilding.
It's going to be a challenge.
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge, yeah. So I have to pick one or the other.
Okay. Do you think people, they give credit to fitness? Like, wasi wanapatianga credit 100% fitness? Appreciating?
What do you mean?
I mean, like, people who work out, as a normal, not a bodybuilder, they come for fitness. Unadhaninga watu wanaipatianga 100%.
Do they give 100% when they are doing their fitness?
Yes.
Of course not. Most people don't give 100%. Even I'll put myself, like sometimes I don't think I've given 100% of what I can. Have I left it all on the table? Yeah, sometimes of course you'll need to. Could I sleep better? Yes. Could I eat a bit better here and there? But I think if you're doing above 80%, you're good. What I say, I like where the fitness is here in Kenya right now. I like where fitness is going, and I like where the direction that we're taking. I think even though people are not giving it 100%, 80% is something. 80% is something. I think they appreciate it. If you can ask me, I think they do.
What is one thing you have learned kwa maisha kwa umelearn since mpaka sasa? Kitu gani umejifundisha kwa maisha as your age? When it comes to life, it's not about fitness, this is life.
That's a hard one because now I have to think about. There are a few things. We learn when it comes to life. Maybe I can say. There's a saying that goes, a wise man knows that he knows nothing at all. So just when you think you know it all, something happens in your life just to show that you. So you have to stay humble.
You have to say,
yeah. So if you can just be as humble as possible at all times with everything and give gratitude as much as possible, I think you'll get by life a bit better than if you didn't.
What is the vision to bodybuilding? My
vision for bodybuilding?
Yeah, right now.
Where bodybuilding is going?
Yeah. Do you have any plan to compete outside Kenya?
Yeah, of course. Mm-hmm. Well, fortunately, if everything goes well, we'll compete in November, maybe somewhere in Europe.
Wow.
Yeah, somewhere in Europe. Mm-hmm. And if I'm in shape, still, tutaona hizi 001 tutaifanya. So we'll see.
Europe, then
We'll see. So hopefully, inshallah, if God allows it, we'll yeah.
So, what is one thing kwa maisha yako umeifanya and you regret paka sasa una regret?
Well, there are few, but one time, this is just to do with bodybuilding. I did 6-plate squats. I knew I could go for a second rep, but I didn't. Until today, it's bothered me.
That
one rep, I'm like, I knew I had one more, but then it bothered me. I've never been able to put 6 plates on my back again, but we did one, but we could have done 2. So.
2. When you did only one rep?
Did one rep.
One rep. What's the one thing you umefanya kwa maisha yako paka sasa uko happy and you're very happy? Ulifanyanga? Sema, I'm very proud of myself.
It's a hard one. There are a few things as well, again. Okay. But every time I feel like I can provide, I'm very happy. At least provide for people that you love. It can gives you a sense of fulfillment. Mm-hmm. I'd say doing the 200 kg bench. That was I didn't know I could do that. That was actually the first time I did that.
The first time?
That was the first time I did on that show.
Wow.
On that competition. Mm-hmm. And I'm really happy I did my first competition. I think that was getting over that hump of not knowing how to do anything and just putting yourself out there and being scared and just taking a risk. I was very happy about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So So when you talk
Maybe
about
a bit more, but of course you have to give me time to think about that.
no, take your time, no problem. So before to talk about this, what is one thing you think when ungekuwa 20s ungefanya? Yes.
What age? Give me
20 to 25.
20 to 25. Now, I started bodybuilding quite late. I started bodybuilding 26, Apple. But if I was 25, what would I have done additionally to what I'm doing? I don't know. It's hey, Haka, your questions make me think, huh? I don't think I would have done anything differently, to be honest, because I think everything that every mistake I made was meant to be made, so that I could just learn. I could be at this position that I am. If could I have okay, what it's like if you took me right now and did at 20 years old,
Yes.
of course I'd have more knowledge, so I couldn't have done things. I could have done things differently because, or in a wise way, in a more knowledgeable way. So of course, anyone, if you ask them, they can be able to do things a bit more differently because take the same person, take them 10 years back and 15 years back, they can do things differently. So would I have taken a different path? Not really, but would I have done things faster? Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nana kuinspire to bodybuilding, who's your mentor? Like this person who wakatulinga bodybuilding, kuna look at it like this. When I grow up, I'm 26 right now, and to bodybuilding I'm starting right now. When I target yangu nataka nifike kama mtu.
So I never had anyone I looked like, let's say professionally I never looked up to anyone in bodybuilding per se. Because I looked at everyone as a competitor. I respected them. I can look up to them, maybe be like them. I wanted to be, I think I have my own style and my own way of being. The only person I wanted to be like was Kobe Bryant. But other than that, I think that's the only person I can be. Unfortunately passed away.
Passed away, yes.
But he's the only person I can be maybe starstruck by Anyaki. If I met him, I wouldn't have any words. But other than that, in the bodybuilding scene, I looked at, of course, Phil Heath was very, very inspiring. Ronnie Coleman, Ronnie Coleman, of course, is a GOAT, is greatest of all time, in my opinion. Maybe let me say Ronnie Coleman because the attitude that he has for every day is something that I admire. Despite being in a wheelchair and not being able to walk, you can think the guy's still the happiest guy.
True.
But I'd say I admire anyone I wanted to be like. No, I think I have my own style that I want to
come on your own style.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. So that's pretty much.
Let's talk about your training.
Okay.
Unatumianga training gani? What training do you use?
What training philosophies and all? So lately there's been this philosophy about, I know Kina Gashao and Richard Gitao and Kina Nico and Wallace do the HIT, which is very good. Mine, for me, I do a bit more volume work. Instead of focusing on the negatives, I focus more on the squeeze. So my training style is a bit more, slightly more volume oriented. I like sending as much blood there as possible. I don't want to really fatigue the muscle. I want to stimulate the muscle. You know what I'm saying? So, something like, so I believe the concept is if you can send as much blood there as possible and just stimulate every fiber as much as possible. Of course, you're going to get to fatigue. I'll tell you a funny thing. Nilikuwa na train first time with my coach. Sometimes he was telling me no sweating.
Sweating. So
he was trying to make sure I stay at a point where we're not sweating.
No sweating.
So but there's a point where you'll just spill over. So you have to. He doesn't believe in sweating too much in training.
What
So
happened if you're sweat?
you lose a pump.
Okay.
You almost lose the pump.
So I lose the pump if you're sweat.
So have you ever trained in a hot area?
Yes, I did.
Have you noticed you don't get a pump when you're training in a hot area?
Yes.
You ever noticed?
Yes, I did in Mombasa, as I say. So
I'll feel your pump.
I don't feel anything. Like,
Bas.
you're just
sweating.
weight,
You're just sweating.
Yes.
Bas. So the idea is not to sweat, but to look for the pump as much as possible. I know. So that's a concept I try to use. Do I still fatigue? Of course, but the priority is cell swelling, and first then the fatigue, the muscle fatigue can come later.
Come later.
Yeah.
And what advice can you give someone who's going tough time?
In a tough time.
Yeah, tough day.
If someone's going through a tough time, I know it's usually you feel like you're the only one having to go through that tough time, and you have to be empathetic here, because you know someone can say you're talking out, you don't know what you talk about, you've never been through what I've been through, you don't know, you've had a better life than me, you had a better upbringing than me, and those are all valid points. I can't really say or attest to anything that someone who's been in a worse situation or brought up in a worse, some people are brought up in the most nasty situations you can ever dream of. But number one, surprisingly, there's always someone doing worse than you, right? So as hard as the times are, which is very difficult to do, you try to stay grateful. Try to have some gratitude on that day, at that time, and just look at the small things that are going too well in your life. Now, if you've lost a loved one, if you've lost someone that was with you, it's very hard to think about that time. Maybe take a moment, but if you look at there's always one or two positive things you can look at. So maybe try and find those, try and be gratitude. And if you trick your mind into being grateful, even in a very, very hard time, you can find some happiness or fulfillment from that. Now, I don't have any right to talk about this because I know I'm not in a position anyone could be. I shouldn't even be giving advice on that, because I know I've had a better life than most people.
Okay.
So, but I think trying to be grateful and trying to have gratitude can help a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, tukimalizia, I want just to tell someone is struggling about losing their belly fat. Yeah, what advice can you give them?
Number one, a calorie deficit. Focus on doing a calorie deficit. You know, I think people try to spot reduce fat.
I just want to
belly fat, like in Istaki, women will be no, you have to lose fat everywhere. So you have to be prepared to lose fat, your whole body, your arms, your legs, and just lose it all. You can't spot reduce fat. So try to make sure that you actually so reduce your calories, calorie deficit. Keep your sugars very low. In fact, sugar is a thing that you should actually avoid.
Okay.
So as much as you're keeping your calories low, keep your sugars low.
So I'm still eating, but I'm still eating sugar.
You're not going to lose.
You're going to lose weight.
Always.
So I'm supposed to cut all the sugar.
You're better off eating and not, you're better off increasing the calories, but not, let's say if you have calories, let's say you get your calories from animal fat and you don't have carbohydrates, you're more likely to lose weight or lose belly fat than if you have sugar in the same amount of calories. You know, maybe the best way put was this. Calories will determine your weight.
Okay.
Macronutrients will determine how you look. Micronutrients will determine how you feel. So calories, reduce your calories. Macronutrients are where you're getting your nutrients from. Is it sweet potato? Is it, are you having a sweet potato or are you having a cake? Are you having a beef steak or are you having chicken?
Okay.
Then micronutrients, now those small, but the zinc, magnesiums, all those things will determine how you feel. So if you can reduce your calories, manage your micronutrients and macronutrients, you lose the belly fat. Right?
What about the things people they say about 10 steps? 10,000 steps, sorry. 10,000
That's good.
steps.
Yeah.
You know what?
That's good. That's good.
Work?
I saw something saying that for people, the thing that I saw a study. In fact, there's that said people who walk 10,000 steps or more a day had a higher chance of living, I don't know, 5 years or 10
12
years
years along,
longer.
yeah. They increase their
They increase their
living
lifespan by like 5 years or 10 years. So walking is good. Walking, I think from an evolutionary standpoint, we used to walk all the time. Kukuwa na magari, all these things. So if you wanted to go to that direction, you have to
go.
take your steps. So if you can walk as much as you can, it's good for you. And walking, of course, it helps. It helps. In fact, it's that free cardio. So if you can walk as much as you can, it helps you reduce the fat. Yeah.
Okay, 10 best exercise you can stay huge for the rest of your life?
Nah, that's a hard question. You asked me that last time, and I even went back home. I thought, okay, we have. Let's think about it like this. We have shoulders, we have chest, we have legs,
back,
we have back, and we have arms.
Yes.
So, okay, incline bench press.
Dumbbell or barbell?
So it's a maswali. That's it.
Let's choose one.
Okay. I'll pick
one.
Barbell.
Barbell? Okay.
I'll pick barbell.
We have 9 more to go.
All right. Number 2, I'll pick wide grip
Let's put down.
Wide grip
Rowing.
rows.
Okay.
Wide grip rows.
That's for back?
Yeah, for back. Wide grip. So not with the
wide, just wide.
Wide grip, yeah, elbows out. That's number 2. Number 3, sumo squats.
Sumo squats.
Sumo squats, yeah.
Okay.
4 RDLs.
RDL.
Barbell.
Okay.
Okay, I need 1 for shoulder. So I'm on 4.
Yeah.
To be very careful with these. 5, I'll pick I don't know. Personally, I don't like dumbbell workouts more than barbell. So I like barbell workouts.
You love barbell more?
I like barbell more.
Shoulder?
So press? Barbell, shoulder press. Barbell, shoulder press.
Okay.
Yeah. Then, because I have to use dumbbell.
Just 5 more to go.
5. So, that's okay. Yeah. Then, rear delt flies.
Rear delt
flies, yes. So I'm on to hit everything. So I'm squat quad. No, sumo squats.
Sumo squat.
And yeah.
Drawing.
Because sumo squats will like open up a bit of bars.
Okay.
Hip thrusts.
Hip thrust.
I'll pick that too. Now I don't know.
Machine or free weight?
Free weight. I'll have to pick workouts that machine. It's good to have machines, but for the sake of
injuries,
for the sake of everyone having in case the easier, it's hard to find. Let's say you want to do hip thrusts. It's easier to do the hip thrust. Not every gym is going to have a hip thrust machine.
Machine too.
So you have to do barbell. Free weight, yeah. Kongapi?
That's 6.
6.
Yeah. Oh no, that's 7.
7. Okay.
3 more. We still have arms, abs also. Hamstring.
Abs.
Calves.
Who needs abs? Hamstring mefanya RDLs.
Okay.
RDLs, yeah. Barbell, yeah. I'll pick then on the
calves.
All right. Leg press calf raises. Okay. Yeah, leg press calf raises.
Okay.
Yeah. 2 more.
2 more. Tricep, bicep.
Dumbbell bicep curls and cable. Dumbbell bicep curls and cable.
Press down.
Cable push downs plus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what one thing can you tell someone who's watching hii? Tumwambiaje?
Well, what I'll tell you is this. Number one, if you're in the gym right now and you're not seeing any results, that happens to everyone. We have plateaus, and you just have to now take a step back, maybe change your program. But it's not really about even sometimes the results, it's about the journey. So maybe one thing I can tell is enjoy the journey wherever you're at, wherever you have a plateau, you have a hiccup in your journey. Just enjoy the journey. It's more important. The journey is more important than the destination.
Okay.
Maybe number 2, stay away from steroids. Do not touch. And if you decide to go that way, at least know whatever you're getting into. Number 3, gratitude is the most important thing that you can do in this life. Stay grateful and be humble as much as possible. The gift of life is a privilege. So whatever God has given you and whatever you have, it's a privilege to even just be breathing your next breath. So stay humble, stay grateful, and I think you'll enjoy life that way.
So when you say about plateau, so to ask you this, there's someone who's watching this and actually, what is plateau? Even I think even my videographer, if I ask them, they don't know anything about plateau. So
there's some guys who've been in the gym for like 4 or 5 years, and they're not seeing any improvements. And kuna newbie gains, beginner gains. So you'll go up, you'll gain.
Okay.
Your growth will stagnate, yeah.
Okay.
Utafika pali penye
mwili hezipita
hapo. So at that point now you'll have to, it's at that point, because your brain is so used to seeing improvement all the time. So of course you're seeing that, you're starting to think, it starts to mess with your brain. We've all been through it. So at that point, that's when number 1, you have to enjoy the journey. Just remind yourself it's more about the journey. The destination is important, of course, but it's more about the journey. Number 2, that's when you start to explore different things, you explore different workouts, you get more knowledge. But when you enjoy, that can only happen when you're enjoying the journey.
The journey,
yeah.
Okay. So thank you so much for your time and also for sharing your journey experience. It's a lot. There's one thing I can say, I learned from you since I started shooting with your videos. You're very humble. Very cool, even Adam Jua, very quiet. And that's one thing I can say, never change.
I'll try my best.
Yes, I appreciate so much. Nashukuru sana for your time.
Asante sana.
So yeah, tukafungie. As you know guys what to do. If you enjoyed the episode, drop your comment down below. Let us know what do you think about this episode. What is one thing you have learned from this episode? Also, tell us who do you want us to invite to the next episode, and thank you so much for your watching the episode. See you in the next one. Peace out.